Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Thanks for coming out. So, kind of a busy day today, and jumped out of bed early and hit it hard from the get-go. Brought all my running machines out. I had people that had scheduled appointments to come out and look. So I ended up selling 5 so far. It's getting towards the end of the day. Had 5 people come out. Lady messaged me about one. She wanted to buy one, and she said, I have 2 that don't run. This is one of them here. This Lawn Pro is a 2013. So she brought this out. She also brought out this Troy built. It's a 2015. She had them in the back of her Ford Expedition, and she said, oh, they just start and stall. And I said, it's probably bad gas. I can fix them both for you. She said, no, I want to trade them in. What will you give for them? I said, trade value 20 each, so 40. I says, you can see what I have, and I'll knock 40 off the price. So she looked around, kept looking around. She didn't like what I have. I brought some other ready machines out from the back, and she didn't like those. And I said, I can still try to fix your 2 machines. They look fairly well. So I unloaded them with her. I says, I can tell you real quick what we'll be looking at. And so I grabbed my can of nitro, took the cover off the Troy built, and it fired off after I gave it a shot of nitro. So I said that would be $50 to clean the carb on that. And I looked at the blade on the Troy belt. It looked fine. I sharpened it. The blade on this, I said, is shot. I said, I can't sharpen this because there's nothing to sharpen. Little stubby stub here on the Lawn Pro. So I said, this will be 60, 50 for the cleaning and 10 for the blade. It's going to need a new blade. So this kicked off and stalled, but I could feel the recoil felt a little jumpy. So when I just went to disassemble it here, the whole recoil here was shredded, and it was the straight pawl system. So I went ahead and took that off in the cup, and went to my junkyard. I found a square style cup, and I put a new recoil on it. So I didn't know it at the time. I'm just going to throw this into the deal. These are about $10. So she's going to get a new recoil. So she said, oh, 110 to fix them both. I said, yeah, I'll have them ready for you tomorrow. I'm going to start working on them now. So the deal with these, it was fuel on the Troy built, and I believe it's fuel on the Lawn Pro. I emptied both bowls and both tanks into here, and you can see all that yard waste, and the fuel's really yellow. There is some water droplets down there in the bottom of the container here. So she had aged out fuel. I told her to dump that fuel she's got in her can, go to Wawa, get some fresh non-ethanol fuel. So those are the 2 projects I'm working on. I was out here disassembling the carburetor on this Lawn Pro, the 2013, and I hear a lawn mower being pushed up the street, which is unusual. So I look, it's a guy I haven't seen before, and he says, oh, I live down the street, and My friend told me to bring this here and see if you can fix it. This is a Craftsman 2020. And so I walk out to the sidewalk. I said, well, which house did you come from? Spanish guy. His English was very good. And he pointed down the street, and he says, oh, I'm at that house with the white van. I says, oh, I know. I says, your buddy had a weed eater I fixed for him. And he says, yeah, that's him. So I fixed a weed eater for the guy. He didn't speak any English. I didn't speak any Spanish. I ended up fixing it for him. What I realized is that he was just using straight gas in the weed eater, and I had no way to tell him what the deal was. He came over, picked it up, and left, and I could hear him start it down the street. It did start, so I don't know how long that lasted. I'll have to ask this guy with better English if the weed eater still works. So the mower pusher said he had tried changing some things. He said he put a new air filter on this 2020 to try to get it to work. It looks like it's kind of low to the ground, this thing. I think what we should do is move it on the concrete. I'm going to nitro this and see if it's a fuel related thing. I told him I would get to it probably tomorrow. I'm running out of time today. So I had 3 off the street repairs, 2 from this lady in the Ford Expedition, and then the guy down the street brought me this M110. So it's got oil in it. Oh, the lady with the Troy built, she had this thing here overfilled, and the Poulan Pro is low on oil. So their oil management was not the best. So let me juice the 2020 Crafty. So that's what's going on. Mower sales are hot to trot. I hope he didn't hit a rock or a stump and sheared the keyway. I want an easy repair. It feels like it's got compression. Okay, so that fired off and then quit. So we're looking at a fuel deal. Let me, just for the fun of it, grab my turkey baster and try to take a fuel sample of this thing and see if we can pick up any water in the bottom of the tank. My guess is, as always, is that it's going to be old fuel, just like this lady with the Ford. You could see by the contamination, the yard waste, and the age of that fuel. Fuel isn't a priority. She didn't know anything about non-ethanol. Okay. He did mention, the guy that pushed this up did mention that they had dumped fuel out of it and put new fuel in it. It is a little contaminated with some yard debris, but I don't see any water. So the damage could be done. The bad fuel could be in the bowl already, and it's just going to be sucking up water every time you pull on this. This is an automatic choke, so I'm going to have to disassemble this thing. First thing I'll probably do is degrease this and let it dry overnight. There's a lot of snot here on the deck. There's some mold here on the plastic. I don't like working around mold. I'll Dollar Tree grill oven cleaner this thing and let it dry. So that's what I'm working on. I was kind of curious. I didn't feel like I was selling a lot of mowers this season, but I guess I am. Last year, up to this date, I had sold 33, and this year, up to this date, I've got 37 sold. So I got four units ahead than last year's sales. So I guess I am doing better. Just felt like I wasn't selling a lot or enough, but the numbers don't lie. 37 sales so far. So somebody's been into this Poulon Pro. I went to take the carb off, and there's this huge sheet metal screw holding the backing plate on, and there was no screws holding the carburetor to the backing plate. So somebody's been in here. This was all screwed up. They had used the sheet metal screws on the bowl. They put these sheet metals down on the bowl. These don't go there. And oh, they did have the excuse me, they did have these screws on the carburetor. That's what the deal was, is the sheet metals were screwed up. So I'm still missing a set of screws. The wide washer screws for the bowl, those are missing. These don't have a wide washer. The ones that go on the bowl have a wide washer. I'll have to steal a couple of these off of another machine. So I'm in the process of putting this back together. I jetted the main cartridge here, since this is a 550. I opened up the brass jet to 0.6 millimeter with a micro drill bit. So that's what's happening in Tommy Time land. Just a few customer repairs, sold 5, and then I'm ahead from last year's sales. So that's what's shaking and baking. Hope you guys are doing well. A few of you commented your sales are dead wherever you are located, that you've got them stacked up. I know the feeling. It takes a while to start selling here in Southwest Florida. We really got to get the rainy season started, and then the sales pick up. So I'm using a new microphone, so hopefully it's as good or better than the previous one. Just a Wi-Fi microphone. I thought my son might help me in a live chat today, but he was busy doing other things. The microphone setup I have is a dual microphone. We were going to try to put a machine together that was delivered here. I've been buying new machines in boxes. I think they're the sellers, retail sellers, are trying to probably liquidate before the end of the mowing season. So I've been getting some good deal on just some standard crappy 125cc Briggs engines on little crappy hyper tough type decks. So I'm going to do some unboxing of those. I ended up getting two self-propelled hyper craps for really cheap. They were actually cheaper than the 125cc Briggs units. The Hypercraps were self-propelled and all. So that just goes to show you how they value the Hypercraps, not very much. So that's what's happening. Thanks for coming out. Thought I'd give you a quick update, let you know what's happening. As always, please tip your waitress and wait staff. They're doing an awesome job. They really rely on your tips and your generosity. Come back and see me. Continue to have a nice day. Thanks for showing up and checking out these 3 turds. I'm going to hit that Craftsman right now with some grill cleaner while the sun's still shining. Let that dry out overnight, and then I'll go to town on that carburetor. Clean up all the bad fuel that's in the bowl, and go knock on his door tomorrow. Push this beast down the street, and he can cut his grass. Anywho, thanks again. You guys are great for subscribing. Those that have, if you haven't, please do. I notice 85% of my viewers have not subscribed, so that'd be awesome if you could. You folks come back and check out my videos. Why don't you subscribe? You'll get notifications, and then you can see the latest releases. Have a good day. Thanks again. Talk to you soon.